I just got my ponytail in this water. Ugh. We have progress.
Thanks for exploring.
Oh my gosh. I was having a bit of a meltdown earlier. Not meltdown, that's an exaggeration. Look how pretty. I'm so happy. But just on first impressions, look how thick that goes on. Do you remember the days when we would drink like a bottle of wine and then like go out and have vodka shots? Like, how? Like coming into place now, seeing what it could look like. Good morning, it's Saturday morning and we have a weekend of DIY ahead of us. In the last video, I showed you the work that we had done in the kitchen. The cupboards have started to go in. And I'm gonna get stuck into painting because I think that'll make our lives a lot easier when it comes to finishing everything. So we've got a few cupboards being built. There's a fridge and a freezer cupboard over here. And I texted our carpenter to just say, should we paint the inside before the fridge and freezer goes in? Because obviously once it's in, we won't be able to paint it. So I think that's our job today. I've also got to finish off the beams back over here. You've been watching the beam journey so far. There's just 3 beams I've got to finish lime waxing. I showed you in the previous video, but I've just been using this with a cloth and it's been working a dream. I'm so happy with how the beams look. And we're gonna paint around the cupboards kind of on the wall over here and a bit on the ceiling in a few areas just to make sure that we're not really restricted when the cupboards are all finished and put in, and around the radiator. So it's going to be lots of work. I fully intend on just spending the whole day doing this kind of thing. I love this kind of thing. Like, I know lots of people would pay to get a decorator to do this, but I get so much enjoyment from saving that money, that hard-earned money that otherwise would be, you know, spent on something else, to just do it myself because I am capable. And I want to empower any of you, women, men, anyone watching, that you can do DIY stuff. Try at painting first, give it a go. If you're scared of doing DIY projects, just give it a try. You'd be surprised what you're able to achieve. In the future, I'd love to start, you know, learning how to do more things like, you know, building cupboards and that kind of stuff. But for now, I have really enjoyed doing the beams, and I think we're going to enjoy doing lots of the stuff around the kitchen ourselves as well. So yeah, that's the plan for today. I think Alex is going to help me. We're going to get stuck in, and yeah, I'm getting a bit nervous. I said this at the end of my last video. I'm in that nervous position where things are starting to go in and it's making me, have I made the right decision? Because it's a lot of money that we're spending to get this done, and you just inevitably have setbacks and you're just like, is this the right decision? Have I made the right choice? Because you're doing it on your own and it's just, you can't be sure until it's all done. But I'm gonna trust in my intuition, trust in the process. And I think a lot of it is to do with the fact that nothing has been painted, and that's why I'm unsure. But this always happens midway through. I've spoken about this on my channel before. I'm pretty sure this happened with our bathroom redesign in our old house. Well, halfway through I panicked, and then you've just got to trust the process and you will love it. And the storage that we're gonna gain is going to be amazing, because right now, can you see that cupboard that's open? That cupboard always opens. That is the only pantry space we have. For a food blogger, having just one small cupboard like that for your pantry, all your food, it's just not going to cut it. So yeah, this is going to really change how everything works in the kitchen, and it's going to make our lives a lot easier. So I'm excited. Anyway, let's get painting and waxing the beams. I literally can't believe how I finished the beams and was literally taking it.
Literally.
What's the word I'm looking for? I just finished the beams and was scraping this tin. I was so determined. I was like, I'm so close. I'm not going to open another tin. And I did it. I managed to finish them. Now I'm just going to go over with my brush and cloth to finish them up, and they're all done then. The only thing I might consider doing at a later date is polishing up the brass copper pipes. I think my dad said you can do that with like a wire wool thing. I'll have to be careful, but I think when the beams are dried fully, I can masking tape them and then proper go at it at the copper beams, because they could look really lovely. Because right now they've got like bits of paint on them and dust and dirt, so that could be another little small job. I kind of love these little small jobs that are perfecting things. I find it very satisfying. So I'm gonna go in and do this now. And we're done. They've got to dry, but they look so great, don't they? Like, these ones are still a bit wet, so I think they'll look a bit less. I mean, I'm just so pleased. I'm so pleased. They look so much more modern and lovely.
Yeah.
And clean.
And they look even better when we've painted.
Painted.
It's so scruffy. Everything else is so scruffy that it'll look
like Alex and I are massive perfectionists. Maybe you remember this from our old house. When we did our living room, it took us 2 weeks to paint our living room in our old house, because we spent about a week and a half prepping, didn't we?
Yeah.
We were like sanding.
I have no desire to start this.
This job is going to be absolute. I think it's going to take us like a month to paint this room.
Yeah.
Because we've got to paint the cupboards, we've got to paint the walls, the ceilings, all the woodwork, everything.
I mean, the painting isn't even the annoying bit. It's like when you get up there and you realise everything, these things need to be filled, things need to be cleaned. And like even that thing, like the granite above the Arga is like really dirty and horrible. And like when you look above like the fireplace, there's a massive gap like between the wall and the fireplace. All these like horrible little things that you wouldn't notice when you walk in the room, but then when you start painting, you have to deal with it.
But we'll tackle it one by one.
Yes.
That's the best way to do it. We're going to tackle it bit by bit, so that today, like us doing some of the cupboard painting and behind there painting, that's like one of the jobs done. And like the ceiling and stuff like that. And then we can tackle the cupboard doors in here another day or another week. And we'll just do it bit by bit and tackle it bit by bit, so it's manageable. Things like, there's like what Alex was talking about, there's like a gap above this fireplace, which is kind of, look at it. It looks horrible. And we're trying to think of the best option for making that neat. I think we should fill it. Don't you think? Like fill it with the foam stuff. Pad it out, and then you could put a bit of plaster, what's it called? That filler stuff. Polyfiller. I reckon that's the best option.
I want to talk to Anthony though.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I just feel like that's such a bodge.
No, I think it would be fine. No one would. I didn't even notice it until the other day. There's even paint drippings on this fireplace. Like one day, not this year, but maybe in a couple years or in the future, we'll re-render this with lime, because it's been rendered with concrete, and you can see where it's like chipping. And I think that would look so much better. Like even around the edges, like it just doesn't look great. So we can redo that one day, and I think it would be lovely, because yeah, but that's again something that nobody would ever think about apart from us. We're gonna have lunch now and then we'll start painting, I think. I just got my ponytail in this water. Ugh.
We're both burnt out, 'cause something isn't right, I know.
All of the prep now for this section is done. I'm just going to be painting this here. I'm not going to do the ceiling yet, not going to tackle that yet. And like, I don't know, like this much of the wall, because the cupboards are going to cover it. I'm not going to waste paint on all of this when it's all going to be boxed in. But I will also paint around the sockets, because we're going to have holes in the cupboards to access the sockets. And then I'm going to paint just probably down to the top of the radiator, just not too thoroughly or neatly, because there will be a window seat, but if you were to open it up, I don't want it to look really gross. So I'm going to do that, and hopefully that should make things easier for us. So we're doing the ceiling in Brilliant White, and then the walls are in Lick White 02, I think.
Not a single one tell me what went wrong. Seize the day. find a way. Sleep at night, search the light, find a way. I'm so confused right now, baby. Didn't work for us, didn't work for us. And I guess it's over now.
I'm just painting now this bit down here in White 02, Lick White 02, which I've made a mess of. I've ended up spilling it everywhere, but first impressions, I just put this on, and compared to the other paint, which to be fair is like trade paint, so it's not like the thickest, I don't think it's designed to be the thickest, but just on first impressions, look how thick that goes on to cover the paint underneath. I'm very impressed with that. It's gonna make my life a lot easier. So that's the next job. I love painting. Should I go over the skirting boards? Do you think? I think I should. Look,
yeah.
make it look neater.
Yeah.
Huh?
Sure.
Sleep at night, search the light, find a way. I'm so confused right now, baby. Didn't work for us, didn't work for us. And I guess it's over now, baby. Didn't work for us, didn't work for us.
So I have made loads of progress. Ceiling here done, ceiling here done. I did like up to here so that when we actually do the ceiling, it's this, you know, the cupboards and everything's not going to be difficult because it might get fiddly around the beams. But this has only got one coat, but it just looks so much better. I'm just so excited for when the whole room is white. It's extremely difficult to show you on camera, but in real life, looking out this window, it looks so different. I know obviously I've not painted it all. Just seeing that view, you'll see it when the room's done. It's very impossible to show you in this light, but it looks so much better because this room just did not look good with that kind of yellowy tone. Oh, I'm so excited. And if you're wondering what Alex is doing, because I do often get messages from people saying, what's Alex doing when you're doing all the DIY? Alex is always doing a lot. He's cooking me dinner. Thank you.
Thank you for doing that.
You're cooking a feast. Yeah, Alex has been cooking. We did the filling in together and Alex walked Roxy. And the beam project, I wanted to kind of do that on my own. I think a lot of the time I was doing that, you were working, so.
Yeah, I trust you more with that.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun project to do by myself. It's not, I mean, we could have done it together, but it would have been a bit, I don't know, tricky. So we'll definitely paint the room together, but yeah, it's always teamwork. It's always all hands on deck, even if Alex isn't on camera, don't worry. But yeah, I'm gonna enjoy a nice curry, I think. And probably after dinner, I'll do like a second coat of the lick around the radiator and then probably call that a day and see what it looks like tomorrow and just clean up. And that'll be enough coats for underneath the sort of window seat, because it's literally just gonna be something that you never see, but at least it looks kind of neat. But I'm so excited when we have our new windows in, how incredible it's going to look. Ah, I was having a bit of a meltdown earlier. Not meltdown, that's an exaggeration. I was being a bit worried about the cupboards earlier. Like, is it the right choice? Are they too deep? Is it going to be dark in here? And just putting that paint on has made me realise no, not at all. And I've got to trust the process. Good afternoon, everyone. It's the next day and it's a sunny day today. I'm going to carry on with the painting. Got to do the top part, and I don't think we're going to paint the cupboards. I think Alex is pretty determined that when the fridge and freezer go in, you won't be able to see any of the MDF, and anything that we do see, we can masking tape the fridge and paint. Main job now is just painting the top of the wall in Lick White 02, and the ceiling is nice and done. Yesterday I was listening to Britney Spears and just loving it. If I really get motivated, I might just do the whole ceiling. We'll see, or at least this side of the ceiling. We actually both had massages this morning at Clowant's Spa, and it was amazing. I got a massage and a facial. I kind of forgot it was happening, and I was like, this kind of not the best timing because I wanted to do painting all day, but it was kind of a welcome bit of relaxation that I think both of us needed, and it was so nice. We have progress. I've now edged everything with one coat. You really can't see on camera, but it is a slightly different white. Can you see there? It's like got a grey undertone to it compared to the ceiling. I've left obviously these bits because they're just going to be covered by the cupboard, so there's no point. And I've just done around the light switch here, just only because the cupboard will finish here and I want it to be like a seamless edge, but I didn't need to do that. I just thought it'd be fine. And then I did the like pipe and the skirting board, but we're going to paint the skirting board and all of the like door edges in an eggshell.
Do you need to quickly sand this before you paint it?
Yeah, I accidentally went over that, oh well. But yeah, I also did around the windows, only because it looked weird. And it's, don't know when the windows are going to go in at like the end of August, and I just thought I may as well paint it. I'm going to have to touch it up, but there's no use in just painting halfway, you know?
Nice and bright though.
Oh my gosh.
It's weird looking at that radiator.
It was yellow before.
And now it's
like, look at the difference. Yeah. And like, this is going to make the whole room bright because it's no longer going to look like that. And the wardrobes are going to, the cupboards are going to be that colour too. It like really frames our garden. Like, look how pretty. I'm so happy. So pleased. It's like coming into place now, seeing what it could look like. Very exciting indeed. Good morning, everyone. It's Saturday morning, and I don't think I filmed this week really at all because I was working during the week and tend to get most of my sort of renovating done at the weekends, which means I'm kind of working at the minute. I'm kind of working like 7 days a week because when I'm renovating I'm filming. Like today I'm filming, but I don't mind it because my days in the week sometimes are a bit more slow as a result, so I'm sort of spreading my work across the week. And sometimes you just got to do this just to get stuff done. Like, I've just got to get the renovating and the painting sorted in the time that I have, and that's just the way it is, just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Sorry, I'm a bit out of breath, I'm walking uphill. Carpenter and electricians were around yesterday, which was great. Got me really excited because loads of progress was made. Roxy! Yeah, loads of progress was made after a few days of sort of inaction. I had a lovely evening yesterday. My sister and brother-in-law came round and we just sort of watched Love Island and had a few drinks. These days I can only have like 3 glasses of wine and then I'm kaput. Like I think I had 3 glasses of wine and I just fell asleep. I just can't. I was saying to my sister, I was like, do you remember the days when we would drink like a bottle of wine and then like go out and have vodka shots? Like, how did I ever do that and stay awake? It hits 10, 11 o'clock and I'm done. I can't do it anymore. But I guess it's to do with like your setting. If you're lying down on the sofa drinking, it's not really gonna make you be that awake, is it? I'm just walking Roxy. Lots of you said you liked to go on walks with me, so I'm taking you along. She's being so good. The fact that I'm able to have her on this road right now, just off a lead. This, by the way, don't worry, this is not like a busy road. It's pretty much just a lane. Cars basically never come down here, especially at the weekends, so don't worry. But yeah, the fact that she's just off the lead and staying this distance to me, I'm so proud of her. What a good gal. Plan for today is to get painting. We had some new paint arrive from Lick because I changed my mind. The Lick 02 paint I ordered in matte, and I was thinking about it and I was like, why did I order it in matte? I need it in eggshell because I want to use the cupboards and be able to wipe them and not think I have to sort of repaint everything and touch it up. So that's definitely something I'd recommend if you're painting a kitchen. Get your paint in eggshell, and I think the room has definitely been painted in a sort of eggshell or satin before because you can see that it's like a bit sheeny. The white 02 that we painted wasn't available in eggshell, so I have ordered white 01 because after I put the paint on I realised because of where it is, it's got a little bit of a grey blue tinge to it, which I don't really want. So yeah, that's arrived, as well as the kitchen paint. So I think the plan today, paint the ceilings, paint over what I did that you just saw, which isn't, I'm not undoing it because it was like almost acts like a primer, and the cupboards are in, so it's not like I can paint all of the bits I did, but it's not going to be so different in colour that it's going to be like a problem. Like, I'm glad that I painted what I painted. Alex has taken the car in to get a service and an MOT. Very riveting stuff. We have this issue though that we've only got one car, so he's gonna have to wait around whilst it's getting its service and MOT. We don't know what to do about our second car situation, because for a while when we first moved, we'd said when we moved we're going to get another car, because situations like this happen where Alex is doing one thing, I want to do another, and we can't, because in Cornwall there's no, like, you can't just go walk somewhere. You can't get public transport easily. You have to drive. If I lived in a city or a much better connected place, I could just survive without one car, but it's just not feasible. Even like cycling, it's just not feasible. So we kind of need two cars, but we just can't make our mind up. We go round and round in circles about an electric car, a hybrid car, or just getting a second-hand affordable car for now. We are renovating our house, planning a wedding, and getting a car or renting a car or leasing a car is just, it's an expense that I just can't bring myself to make. Yeah, if I can find reasons why we can do without, then I do. It has just started to rain, and that's one of my favourite smells, when it's like really calm rain on tarmac, and like you can just smell the tarmac and you can smell all the greenery everywhere. Ah, so refreshing. Good girl. Good girl. Sit. Wait, wait, wait. Okay. We also both secretly want to get a van and renovate a van so we can travel places. But that's another day. But how cool would that be, like, to have a van in Cornwall that was like decked out so we could go to the beach, or just go camping for a few days, or like go to France or something just in our van in a ferry, or just drive up to the Lake District. I don't know, I just feel like that would be so up our street. Maybe in a few years. Maybe in a few years. Just got back, and let me show you some house updates, starting with the outdoor light. Here it is in position. I am so in love with it, and I can't wait until we get rid of this ugly gutter, because that's, I think, been put in when the bathroom was put in, and I personally just don't love the look of this out the front. This is like where we come into our house at the front. And when we finally get rid of all the paint, because we're gonna, I guess, microblast or sandblast it or something, so that it's like stone, so you can see the granite. And once that's done, it should, you know, really make a difference. And of course, when these windows have been replaced, because they're not looking the most tidy. The main thing though is the electricians were hard at work yesterday refitting all of our light switches everywhere, so all of our sockets are now matching. Small little difference, but makes me happy. Here are our beautiful flowers. We originally thought we would do it as we decorated, but then I got a bit, I don't know, I got a bit self-conscious about, not self-conscious, but then I got a bit conscious about the electrics, and I wanted to make sure everything was safe. So while we were doing the ones in the kitchen, I was like, let's just, because we bought all the fixtures and fittings at the same time so that they wouldn't like go out of stock in a year when we decide to do maybe the upstairs or something. And I just thought, makes me feel better knowing that the electricians have gone around and changed everything and wired everything in properly. Because there were a couple, like for example when the oven was fitted, he was like, oh, there's no earth wire. And when we had our electrical like review, when they did like an electrical test, they mentioned something about the downstairs and the upstairs not having all the right wiring. I'm not an electrician, so I have no idea. But the gist was we need to change them over at some point, and I was just like, I would feel safer just doing it all now. It's a bit funny having those done when we've not decorated, but it makes me feel safe and happy that everything's sorted. And there's just a couple that they have to do. I think they've got to come back for the thermostat and maybe a couple more upstairs. But the biggest change is in here. We now have a big cupboard in the corner. So there you go. It's all fitted into the corner now, which makes me so excited. We're going to struggle with lighting because it is sunny outside and there's a window right there. So the camera is not going to like this, but let me try. Let me try my best. Oh, there we go. That's good lighting. So this is the corner cupboard. Obviously there's a ladder, a ladder massively in the way. Let me move the ladder. The plan here is we're going to have one door here and then two doors here. And then at the bottom, this will be drawers. Originally, I was just going to have cupboards. And then I was like, it's a pantry. It'll be so much more useful to have drawers here. So we'll have maybe 3 drawers. And then I think we're going to have some shelves in here that we can adjust. He mentioned that he'll put some holes down the side so we can move them around as we would like, which will be so useful. And then we have the extra storage at the top, probably for maybe things we don't use as much. The idea for this one, mainly these two, is going to be like a pantry. So I'll mainly put a lot of our food in here. So maybe up here could be like extra food. Like I've got loads of protein powders that are like not opened and, you know, extra stock of things. And there'll of course be doors on them, and the doors will match the kitchen doors. So it'll be shaker style. So he'll panel them like this, and then they'll be painted. They'll be painted to match the walls. So the idea is that it will very much feel like these cupboards are a part of the wall. Here is where the freezer will go, and this one will be painted green like the kitchen, and then we'll have this cupboard and then a cupboard going around this corner with a worktop. So it will kind of make the kitchen feel more like it's an L-shaped kitchen rather than just like one wall. I'm very sorry about the mess. We had people around yesterday, so it's like, and like, I don't know, I've said this before, because we're renovating, I've just given up on even trying to make this tidy. But yeah, it will kind of go like this and then across here, which will be so nice. Yeah, and then we're going to have a window seat in the middle, and I really think it's going to make the window pop and show up a lot better. I'm still slightly scared because it feels dark in here because the cupboards haven't been painted, and seeing like a big abyss of like darkness into a cupboard makes me nervous that it's going to make the room darker. Then I have to remind myself, like I said in the other videos, that we are changing so much from this point. So we're going to have white paint on the walls, and right now it's like magnolia and quite a dark faded one because I guess it's not been painted in a little while, so paint tends to lose its, you know, brightness and luster. And also these worktops suck a lot of light because this is dark granite, that's dark wood. These are all going to be quartz and they're going to be white. And then also the flooring right now here, this wood floor is quite dark. We're going to be sanding that ourselves. Slightly terrified because if you watched our renovation vlogs in our old house, we did do that and it went horribly wrong. But the reason it went horribly wrong was because it was like 300 or 400 year old floor. Our old house was much older than this one. It had loads of woodworm and was pine and very thin, whereas this floor looks very much to me like it's been fitted in the last like 50 years or so. It does not look like, well, it's not original flooring, it's just, you know, nice floorboards that have been put in the last, I imagine, like I reckon that this kitchen was built in like the 50s or the 60s, and I reckon they probably did the floor then. Maybe not the slate, I don't know. The slate feels like that's a bit newer. And yeah, the idea is that we're going to hire a sander, sand it ourselves and make it more like the colour of the beams. I don't know if I'll lime wash it. I think the idea is literally just to sand it and then just do like a really clear wax so that there's not really much of a colour to it. Or maybe I will do a lime wax, I don't know. I will figure it out once the sanding has been done, but that will also allow a lot more brightness into the room. And then when the windows are done, that'll make a difference, which actually they rang us about the other day, and they asked us about the paint colour. They're like, what paint would you like? And they said it's they're ready much sooner than we expected, and we're starting to paint them now. So originally they had said the 31st of August for fitting, and now I think potentially, I'm not going to get my hopes up because that might not happen, but potentially it might be happening sooner, which is so exciting, because when we did our windows in our old house, that transformed the feeling of the home. And all of these windows, I've just not been bothering to clean them. They're just, you know, I just feel like it's going to be so exciting. I'm so excited. I feel like we're at the really fun bit. So that's the deal, and I'm going to shut up and get painting. Get out of these clothes, get out of my pyjamas. I'm literally wearing my pyjama top. I've got my new paint colour. So this is white 01, and I'm hoping this is going to be just what I wanted and just the sort. And Alex is going to pick up some MDF paint, because I think that you want to use like a primer inside before you paint so that it doesn't soak up too much. And I think maybe this weekend we'll paint a little bit inside the fridge and the freezer, not like crazy amounts, but just enough around the edge that when he puts the fridge freezer in, you won't be able to see any MDF. I love painting so much that I could just like do this every day. I feel like I could become a decorator and live a very happy life. I've officially painted everything. Looks exactly the same, just a bit lighter. And I'm glad it's not shiny at all. I had a concern that the eggshell would be like shiny, but it's not. I actually can't even see. It has like a slight, like an eggshell, has a slight sheen to it, which it already had in here anyway. So it's basically the same.
I thought you were vegan.
Yeah, I can show you here. You can see I painted up there, which is good. Look how crooked it is. So funny being in an old house. Alex is going to fill the very few kind of holes that there are, or marks there are in the ceiling.
In you come.
What are you doing with him?
He likes exploring.
Oh my gosh.
Hey. What's this? What's this?
Yeah, Alex is going to fill the holes, and I'm going to put a few layers of MDF primer on the cupboards. I don't know whether to do the insides of these cupboards because I don't know if he's finished with them.
It's hard to say, isn't it?
So I'm going to just do the fridge and just do like, I don't know, a couple of inches around the rim of the door, so it's not too much of a job. It's annoying, I can't do it all in one go. Like I want to like, I've talked about this before, I'm such a perfectionist and all or nothing. I'm like, I want to tidy the whole room, put all the dust sheets down and paint the entire room top to bottom, not do it in bits.
Yeah.
But you can't, we have to do it like this because he's doing the...
Impossible.
Yeah, you have to do it this way.
Well, you just get on with your rim job.
There you go, a couple coats of the primer, probably do another coat tomorrow. I'm very pleased I got that done. Didn't manage to do the ceiling at all, but it's like 6 o'clock, is it, now? This video has just been a huge video of painting, hasn't it?
Yeah.
There's going to be more to come. My face is really red. I don't know about that.
Some white paint.
I think I probably had paint on my face and I've rubbed it.
Oh dear.
I hope that these vlogs show you the realistic nature of how long renovations take and how bitty it can be, because it's kind of, I was saying to Alex, I just wish we could just do it all in one go, but it's just not realistic.
Do you know the bittiest bit?
What?
Is the floor. Because it's covered in bits.
Don't even get me started on the floor, that's a whole other job. The slate.
No, I mean, as in the floor is covered in little bits and it feels horrible.
Yeah, I just think about the floor and what we have to do. We've got to sand it all.
Yeah.
That's going to be one hell of a job.
For another year.
No, it's going to be one hell of a job. And also we've got to regrout the slate and clean all the slate, because there's loads of marks on the slate, I guess from over the years of just wear and tear. One day I really would like to change the floors, but it's just not within our budget right now, and it's just something that we would want to do years and years and years down the line, and I want to try and make do with what we have and like make it work and clean it up.
Yeah, I think it's a nice, it's not like when we first came in the house, I loved the slate. It was one of the selling points for me, because like in our old house we had a horrible carpet, and yeah, it's really nice, but there's just a few bits that need, I mean, you know, if you got down on your hands and knees and
the regrouting, I reckon, will make
a
massive difference.
Because I saw some products online you can get for stone like that will just, because there's probably like, you know, even like a steam mop, you can't really get the grime off.
No, we need to be on our hands and knees with a scrubby brush. Yeah. And then the wood floor, we decided to wait till the cupboards are done so that we wouldn't have as much floor to do. Yeah. I'm wondering if that was the right choice, but I think it is. It just means that I guess around the cupboards we just have to use like a hand sander. Yeah. But I'm looking in there and I'm like, how are we going to get in there? You know, like there's like tiny little bits.
Don't say that.
Well, we're not going to be able to get in there, are we?
No, maybe you could. I don't know, your hands.
You'd have to hand sand it. I didn't want to do it before and then the floor be ruined by all the work that's going on. I think this is the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
too late now.
It's really hard to get the right.
No, I think this is the right way. We've saved. There's a whole chunk of floor we don't have to do now because it's going to be underneath the cupboards, and it means that it's like the finishing touch, and we can just hand sand around the edges. It'll be fine. Actually, I forgot. That's not going to be on show. That's going to be hidden in a cupboard. This bit's a cupboard, remember?
Oh, it's going to join.
I hope so. I don't want it to have a gap.
No, it should join. That's what we said.
I'll speak to him about it.
You want a continuous
countertop,
like...
Yeah, I want the countertop to go up to here. Yeah, I'll talk to him about that next week. But so yeah, say goodbye now, and we'll pick up the camera tomorrow to continue.
Bye.
There'll be so much going on in August. We've got windows happening in August, worktops happening in August. We'll be doing the floors. We've got the fireplace on the 9th of August, fingers crossed. Why are you praying? I'm trying to find a tiler. That's one last piece of the puzzle that I'm struggling right now. That's another reason why everything's going so slowly, is because every single person is so fully booked. Even though we've been speaking to people since February, it's just crazy. Yeah. And I can't find a tiler. I can't find anyone. Like, we've been asked around so many people, do you know a tiler? Do you know a tiler? And everyone's like, I do, but they're all booked till like next March. Gina said, like our gardener, she said that she spoke to one person who said, yeah, I can do it. I'll do it in March.
Did they?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then there's another person there's like, it's ridiculous. I can't do it myself. I just can't. I will say goodbye and see you in my next video. Hope you enjoyed. I'm going to go nibble on some din-dins. I'm so tired. I'm like rubbing my eyes. I'm so tired.
I'm going to nibble on some din-dins. Are you all right?
Yes, I'm tired. Bye.